Thank you for joining us in this week's episode of Chat with Kimola. We have an exciting guest that I can't wait for you to meet. I did a reaction video last week reacting to what a fellow education YouTuber, Victor Agboga, said on why international scholarships are not visa lottery schemes. So if you've not watched that video, the link will be here and also in the description box below. I was so intrigued by that video that I just knew I had to have him on my channel. So today I have the pleasure of interviewing Victor Agboga, an outstanding Nigerian who is also an education YouTuber. His channel is dedicated to helping young people get admission and full postgraduate scholarships in top universities around the world. And he also shares personal tips and tricks that helped him win 5 international scholarships in the UK, Germany, and the US. So he'll tell us in detail about this scholarship, so stay tuned. He'll also share tips on how to apply for these programs and make yourself stand out. So before we begin, please click on the subscribe button if you haven't, so that you can always be notified when I post videos with the fantastic guests who will help you navigate the scholarship application phase to study abroad. So without further ado, thank you for agreeing to share your wisdom on Chat with Kimola, Victor. Welcome to the channel.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be here.
Yeah. So first of all, you won like 2 scholarships to study in the UK, Germany, and US. Can you just, while introducing yourself, tell us what those scholarships were about and what phases of your study those were?
Okay. Once again, I'm very happy to be here to share my tips and tricks and personal stories on my scholarship journey. So as you said earlier, my name is Victor Agboga from Nigeria. So regarding my scholarships, my first was in 2017. And it was the Standard Bank of Africa Chairman Scholarship, also known as, formerly known as the Derek Cooper Standard Bank Scholarship. So the scholarship usually sponsors about 9 students from Africa in top universities in the UK. That's in Cambridge, Oxford, and the LSE. So usually 3 in each university. So I was among those chosen for the scholarship in 2017 at the London School of Economics. So I think later we'll talk about the scholarship itself and how to apply. So I'll just do a rundown of the different scholarships.
Okay.
So while in London and while preparing for exams, I got an email from Germany and I was like, what is this about? And I was informed that a scholarship I applied for a year before or earlier that year that I've been selected for that scholarship. Usually we send out several scholarships and we pray at least one of them goes through.
Yes, it's wise.
Exactly. So that's actually 2 went through. So I was already in London and I got the email from the DAAD. The DAAD is the official scholarship the scholarship sponsor in Germany because it's affiliated to the German government, German education ministry. So they have different forms of scholarship. So the second scholarship was the Helmut Schmidt Good Governance Scholarship, sponsored by the DAAD as well. So it was a related course. In London, I studied African development. And the Helmut Schmidt program was about good governance, public policy. So it was related to what I was doing already. But I felt my London course was just 1 year. And that was like another opportunity to do something related. That's what I've been doing already. So I accepted to undertake that as well. So I moved to the University of Duisburg-Essen, where I did a second master's, this time in development and global governance. Then after Duisburg, I was rounding off my master's dissertation, and I was like 2 masters already. I think the logical step is a PhD because I think I enjoyed the academic environment and the vibe in universities. So I decided to send out a number of applications to the US, to the UK, and I didn't send any to Germany, but I think I sent to Switzerland, I think. But at the end of the day, I got 3 scholarships. One at the School of Oriental and African Studies, University of University of London in the UK. And I also got to the University of Warwick. Then in the US, I applied to the American University, Washington, D.C. So that was also a bit funny because they downgraded my PhD application and instead gave me a master's admission with a merit award. So they wanted me to do their master's the American University, Washington, D.C. So they wanted me to do another master's probably before moving to a PhD. But since I had other options, why do a third master's?
But that's a scholarship you already had.
It was a merit award, so it covered most of the fees and everything. So it was now between SOAS and Warwick. So after some weeks of deliberation, I decided to go to Warwick instead. But presently, I'm still in Germany. I've not moved yet. I'm still in Germany now, but I'll be moving in a matter of weeks to the UK.
So your PhD will be now at Warwick. That's what you selected. And what will you be researching on?
Is in the Department of Political Science.
Okay.
My topic is about party switching. That's why MPs move parties and how voters react and stuff like that.
Hey, that's fantastic. The transition also, just from one master's to another, because these opportunities, as you said, we sow our seeds wherever we can, and then later on something will come up, and that's what you choose. So let's go back to the first master's, the scholarship you got, the Standard
Bank of Africa.
Yes. Could you tell us about that? Because I've never heard of it. Is it sponsored by the? Just tell us about the eligibility application. If anyone is interested,
Yeah, no problem. It's sponsored by the Standard Bank of Africa. It's a popular, one of the biggest banks in Africa. And in some countries, it's known as Stanbic Bank. So it depends on the country where you're located. So I think it started about, 5 or 6 years ago. It's a little bit new, it's not among the very old scholarships like the Commonwealth or Germany. So every year they send 3 to Oxford, 3 to Cambridge, and 3 to the LSE to study some particular courses. So if you're applying for this scholarship, or if you're interested in this scholarship, you have to get admission first in the university. And the university actually selects those eligible for the scholarship, not Standard Bank.
Okay.
So you don't send any documents to Standard Bank or anything. So they just give the university all the resources, at least for now, unless they change it in the next academic session. So they give the universities all the power to select the candidates. And it might differ from university to university. Like in Cambridge, after getting admission, you have to apply for a different application form for the Standard Bank scholarship. And there are some courses that are eligible for that scholarship. So not just any course, but some particular courses. Okay. So if you want to go to Cambridge and you need the Standard Bank scholarship, I think you suggest you just go Cambridge and Standard Bank scholarship. You see the particular requirements. For Oxford, I think it's just random. You get the admission and they just pick who they think is qualified for the scholarship. So there's no separate application, at least for now, to the best of my knowledge. And at the LSE, I think I got the admission, and there were a number of options, funding options, and I chose the Standard Bank option. Then I must confess, I never knew exactly what it was all about. So I just chose the option and I got it. But one good thing about the scholarship is that they do not abandon you after the course, unlike some other scholarships. So you keep in touch. We have annual alum meetings around different countries in Africa. So they sponsor your trip to whatever country. Like we had one in South Africa. We had last year it was in Ghana. And this year, because of Corona, it's going to be online, unfortunately. So usually leadership conferences where you interact with other recipients of the scholarships and things like that.
Oh, that's cool.
It's a good opportunity. And since it's a kind of a little bit new, so the networking capacity and everything is quite close knit. So I know like everybody in the scholarship, very cordial relationship and stuff like that. So it's like one of my top scholarships.
If you've had, now you know there's a standard one. You can apply for that one. Standard Bank of Africa scholarship, right?
Yeah.
And then, is it a full scholarship? You get your upkeep, your tuition paid. Tell us about that aspect.
Yeah, it's a full scholarship. You get your tuition paid, you get living allowance. And I think in Oxford, they also give extra research allowance as well, for those probably going for field research somewhere else apart from the UK. So you don't need to worry about anything. Just bring yourself to the UK in the first place. And
that's great. Because I was on the Shifting Scholarship, and then like we had some caveats you needed to sign, like you commit to returning back to your home country. Is it the same with that one?
No, it's not at all. It's not. There's no caveat like that. Just do whatever you want to do after the degree, but just keep in touch.
Okay.
With the community, you're free to do whatever. So we have several recipients still staying back in the UK or going to the US or returning to their home country. So it depends on what you want to do after that. There's no mandate to return.
Okay. I would want to hear if you've ever heard about this scholarship. Comment in the comment section below so that we can be able to know. Maybe I was the only one in the dark, but this is very new information.
Yeah, I think we have 2 Kenyans actually.
2 Kenyans.
Even 3. Yeah.
We will network later. You give me their name so that I can look for them as well.
That's
Be
fine.
good to get them for an interview as well. So I'll put a link in the description box where you can go straight and check out the scholarship. Now the one that brought you to Germany. Tell us about the Helmut Schmidt Scholarship, because
Scholarship.
some people know DAD, they fondly known as DAD, but how is it interlinked and that application process as well?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it's the confusion most people have about this DAAD scholarship. So DAAD is like the Education Ministry of Germany in charge of international students. But this education ministry gives out different kinds of scholarships. So there's that for like there's that scholarship related to development and sustainability. That's a different scholarship. Helmut Schmidt is another different scholarship under that. There are several PhD scholarships as well, sponsored by that. So that is just like the broad umbrella where there are different German scholarships.
Okay.
And they also collaborate with other private or NGO that provides fundings for international students. So the good thing about that is that they have a database. You just go to their website. They have a database of almost all scholarships in Germany, both those covered by that itself and those covered by other allied institutions.
Okay.
So the Helmut Schmidt is just one of those numerous scholarships out there.
All right. So this one, you said you had applied a year before you were at LSE. You got the rejection letter, and then now they came back saying, we want you.
It's a little bit funny because I think I applied the same period, early 2017, I think. But it takes them a while to go through all the applications. So they won't tell you beforehand. If you're applying 2017, that means you're getting in 2018. That's the deal. So for LSE, it was just that same year. I was able to submit before the deadline and I got in. So I was already at LSE. I think I was put on the wait list. Because when I communicated with my classmates, they were contacted in, I think, December, January of 2018. But I was contacted, I think, in March. Then I was preparing for my exams at the LSE. So I think they sent me something like, oh, you've been on the wait list or something, and now I think they had more funding or somebody dropped out or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was upgraded to join the class of 2018. So that's how it happened. And it just happened at the right time because the language course, I think I should mention this.
Yeah.
For most DAAD scholarships, you have to study German, even if your course is not taught in German. So it's like an integration program. While studying the language, they also teach you what to do, how to open a bank account, how to move around. So it's like a good way to introduce you into the country.
Yeah.
So my German course was beginning on the 1st of June. And my last exams at the LSE was, I think, 30th of May. So it was just, it was well sorted out, so to say. So I think a day after my exams, I left for Germany.
The good thing is this near there. So for this one, what type of scholarship is it? Is it also full as well?
Yes, it's also full. I think it's even more, how will I put it? It covers everything, your insurance, even transport expenses, they give you your normal monthly stipend.
Yeah.
And they also help you if you have a spouse or children. So if you're bringing your spouse over, your children over, after the language course, you can arrange with them. They allow you to bring your spouse over. And they also pay your spouse and your children. There's a particular allowance they have for spouse and children. I think that's one good thing about the German government. They like unifying families.
Yes.
Sponsoring you, they try to also bring you and make sure you are there with your nuclear family at least. So you have the classmates with about 4 children, and they brought all of them here, and they supported all of them. So it's,
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So if you're listening and you want to apply for this scholarship and you already have a family and you don't want to be away from them,
bring all of them.
Go to Germany, DAD, they're pro-family. That's fantastic. Now, these applications, because you've been able to get all these scholarships, they always require essay writing, personal statements, and also in your channel, you're really big about letting people be particular about how you present yourself to the reading committee.
Exactly.
And the reaction video that I did, you were actually telling people, are you actually, or warning them about applying for scholarships as an escape route without actually being interested in their studies or even them doing their background checks to see if they're eligible for those courses? So in your expertise, why do you see this as a danger for these upcoming applicants who want to go and study abroad? What's the danger of doing this?
Yeah, I think it should be applicants, not you.
Yeah.
The applicants should be careful about desperation, because when you're desperate, most times you can do anything to get you through the door. So they make themselves vulnerable to probably scamming. You could be
Mhm.
swindled. Because, for instance, in Nigeria, at least I've noticed, there are several mushroom educational consultancies coming up these days,
Yeah.
claiming to help people get scholarships abroad and tell you to pay a little bit of a substantial amount of money.
Mhm.
So if you are so desperate to get something or to leave, they can swindle you. You don't. I do not know how authentic these educational consultancies are, and
Yeah.
I don't want to speak to their character, but people could take advantage of you.
Mhm.
I've also been approached by people that were like, "Oh, just do it for me. I'll pay you some amount of money." That is fraud. So
Yeah.
desperation can lead you either to be swindled or even to fraud. So try to tamper your desperation. And I tell people, if you want to travel abroad and you're not interested in academia, then don't apply for a scholarship, because scholarships are particularly targeted to those interested in improving their academics and their professional skills. So if you think you just want to go there and work on something, I think you should go to a visa or a travel agency or something instead of bothering me for a scholarship. So I
Yeah.
think you should be genuine with your intentions. And I must also add, there's nothing wrong in this American dream, European dream, or whatever. I think one of the main reasons why I applied for an international scholarship in the first place was because I also wanted to go abroad. But
Yeah.
that was not the
The
overriding,
only.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that was not the only aspiration I had. I also wanted to have academic excellence and exposure. So
Yeah.
my undergrad, certain professors studied abroad in Germany, in Italy, and they came back speaking in tongues with their foreign languages. I'm like, okay, one day I'll be like them. And that
Yeah.
was so there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong in wanting to study abroad or to move abroad. Make sure if you're doing it through a scholarship, you have a genuine academic interest.
That's true.
Yeah.
And whatever Victor has said, I want to reiterate because some of these agencies, yes, they're there to help you. I know there are those who do it free of charge because they get a commission from the universities for bringing international students, but you don't always have to go out of pocket. Applying to these universities yourself is doable. Hmm? Everything is on the website. You just need like a personal statement, put your transcript, degree, anything that's there. Just follow step by step, and the admission officer always there to help you if you're stuck.
Yeah, exactly. I think if people cannot go through this stress in the first place, why aspire for postgraduate study? Because it's very stressful on its own. So if
Mhm.
you're not ready to read through the instructions and go through the stress, you're probably not ready for postgraduate studies. That's what I feel. Except probably you're a self-funded student and you need help, that's fine. But if you're looking for a scholarship, by that doing it's already a very competitive thing you're getting into. So if you cannot go through elementary information and to read through yourself, I think it might be a problem. It
Yeah,
might be
because
a
this thing
problem.
is, it takes time
Yeah.
and a lot of effort and hard work to actually sift through all these scholarships and also writing the personal statements. Now, let's go to the personal statements because you also are approached by interested scholars to just help them like look through what are some of the issues or the don'ts that you would advise for scholars who are applying not to include in their essays or personal statements when they're applying for these scholarships?
Okay. Instead of going to the don'ts, I would rather say
Mhm.
what they should do,
Okay.
like communication skills, because I've met lots of people, they have very good intentions, good work experience, good undergrad degree. But the
Mhm.
problem is that they do not know how to sell themselves.
Mhm.
So their choice of words, their arrangements, the general way they communicated their application. So I think the first thing is that you have to work on, not you now, but
Yeah.
the applicants have to work on the way they communicate themselves, they sell themselves to the admissions committee. And little things like sentence structure, paragraphing, choice
Mhm.
of words are very important.
Mhm.
And usually when I was learning creative writing, we were told that show and do not tell. That's
Yeah.
another pointer. So instead of telling that you are very hardworking and passionate and energetic, show particular instances of where you showed passion, where you showed ingenuity, where you showed your hardworking skills. So instead of giving general terms about what every other person is going to write, focus on things that you have that you think the other person wouldn't have.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. Try to communicate better and look for things that will stand you out from the crowd instead of using the general passionate. And in fact, I don't use that word anymore. Passionate is no longer in my vocabulary. It's just
Yeah.
overused already. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
In one of your videos, you say avoid giving out SOS calls. In my video, I call it sob stories.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. I think this SOS course is usually given by those who are very desperate, and some of them that just want to live abroad, go abroad for no genuine academic reasons. But other genuine candidates can also make the same mistake anyway. That you just give a list of all the problems you're going through, all the problems your country is going through, and give a small paragraph there and say that is why I want to study abroad so I can solve this problem. It doesn't work like that. So even if you're taking the problem approach, tell them what you're doing about the problem already.
Solution.
You can also tell them what the government is doing already and where is the skill gap, what is missing, and how will this degree or how will this scholarship help you fill the gap. Instead of giving a list, a kitchen list of what is going wrong, it's like, yeah, it comes across as desperate.
Yeah. For those who are watching, SOS or sub stories, save our souls. It's just you're saying you come from a poor background, your country is poor, everything is corrupt, nothing is working. And there's not, I also interviewed Stephen Mashua, a Schmidt Scholar, and he said those problems are not unique to you. Every other person in the world, they might be going through some kind of hardship. Yes. So we don't want to read your essay and you sound so depressed, you sound like you're dejected. We want, as Victor is saying, solutions, and you're actually putting and positioning yourself as that person who needs the scholarship so that they can be hands-on on the ground and work.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I'm really happy that you also did that in your video. I'm going to put a link to that video in the description box below as well. Now, you see that those who apply for these scholarships and they get rejected. They apply the first time, second time, they also apply to as many scholarships as you have also recommended, and I also recommend, but it just seems like nothing is actually aligning. How would you help someone like that to repackage themselves? Do you have any tips on how maybe they can starting this year to apply for scholarship if that's the dream that they have?
Yeah, I think the first thing is that you should try to have maybe another person to read through your work. Because when you write something, you might be very confident in your work, but you give it to somebody else and the person says it's rubbish. So it's good to have a second opinion. Well, I think when I was applying first, I was just applying blind, no mentor, no guide. And I think I noticed that when I started giving out my work to people to read, even just friends, it might not be a mentor, just a friend to read, they might start spotting out mistakes or gaps or things you did not say, but they are aware of, and they think it will boost your application. So it might be good to send out your application to some friends or past recipients of the scholarship.
Mm-hmm.
Then also try to boost your work experience. I think work experience is always an advantage, no matter the scholarship you're applying for. It doesn't count against you in any scholarship that I know of. So if you have a work experience in the field you're applying for, I think it's always a plus. And there's something, my scholarship experience is a very funny one because I did not do my undergrad in political science.
Really? Tell us about that.
I did my undergrad in philosophy because I had this intention then of becoming a missionary. Mm-hmm. And when I was in the seminary, we had to study philosophy. Mm-hmm. So when I left, I was interested in social advocacy and politics. Mm-hmm. So in order to get scholarships in the area of politics, I had to get work experience in that field. So I was working as a political writer in Nigeria for, I think, 2-3 years. So that was like my transition from philosophy to politics. So try to get a relevant experience in the field you're applying for, even if it's an internship or something. So you already have hands-on experience in that particular field. I think that will help. Then communication skills and little soft skills that will give you the extra advantage.
Yeah. So someone should always try, and you don't also just go with the same cases. After someone has looked through them, work on the changes they suggested, and as you said, while you're waiting, try and get relevant skills or work experience, or even volunteering that is hand in hand, that can separate you from other applicants who are also applying for the same scholarship. So tell us, you've been in both UK and Germany. What is the difference in terms of studies in both countries?
Okay, I've actually done a video on that anyway. I think so it's like, I don't think it's actually fair to compare because I studied in two different universities. So I can't, the university I studied in UK, like a top ranked university. And the university I studied in Germany, they're not used to ranking universities that much. So it's like a little bit lopsided, but that's fine. But what I've noticed is that Germans are more, they give you more time. There's more independent study in in Germany than in the UK. So UK, you have a lot of things to do. You're running from lectures to seminars, and they keep you very busy. But in Germany, you have a lot of time, but they're expected to use the time to develop yourself. So like the contact hours in the UK is like more than what we have in Germany.
Okay.
So if you're a kind of student that likes to be pushed, I think UK will be a better alternative. But if you're the kind of student that likes to take your own initiative, I think Germany might be a better alternative. And things in Germany I think they are more considerate, so to say, if I can use that word, because you can, even if your course is a 1-year course and you cannot finish it in 1 year, they can allow you expand it. It's not, most students do it, but most international students do not want to do it because of their scholarships. Because if they want to stay longer, they have to fund themselves. Apart from probably you're sick or something, and the scholarship board decides to fund you further. But scholarship, I think generally Germany is more flexible when it comes to courses extension. You have more free time and things like that compared to the UK. But I think there are some skills I learned in Germany that I didn't learn in the UK. For instance, Germany, they take little things like citations, very important. Of course, the UK wants you to take it very important, but Germany, they'll check your commas and your full stop and all those little things that you probably overlook in the UK.
Yeah.
They check your journals, whether it has a very high impact factor, whether it's an unknown journal. So then you can might tell you, okay, just use something so far it's credible, it's fine. So these little changes I think they're also very important. So I wouldn't dismiss Germany in a hurry just because of the standard in the UK. I think they are quite complementary.
And also most people don't know that some courses are actually taught in English.
Yeah, that's true anyway. There are lots of English taught courses in Germany. I think Germany is opening up to international students. And they think now, they know there's money in international studies, and now they're opening up. So now there are several departments teaching English. And there's also some mixed courses, English and German, or just exclusively German. So it depends on the variety you want. They have several combinations.
You can do it. And also now at least you said the scholarship sponsors you to learn a little bit of German so that you can integrate.
Yeah, exactly.
How is your German right now, and how has life outside
it's okay.
school?
You know the German course is supposed to be 6 months from April to September. But because I was a late entry, so to say, I came in June. And I did June to September. And even within that period, I was writing my dissertation for my university in London. So I was always moving from Germany to London, taking excuses. But I think I learned a little. It's fine. I think it's fine. At least I can find my way around, ask questions, and follow conversations a little bit. But I don't think I'll use it to like study or to work full time. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, I think it's okay. I can read basic instructions in the book.
That's good.
And things like that.
And then the other thing that's good about Germany is they give what is it called, the post-study work visa, which is
Yes? They allow you work for 18 months. That's 1 year, 6 months after your studies. But still, it's not automatic. You have to apply for it. Tell them, oh, you're done, but you want to stay to work for a while. So they allow you. Yeah, they allow you to do that.
Hey, that's good. Okay. I also saw that we both did videos just telling applicants where they can be able to gain or find these scholarships. But for yours, you said they were hidden scholarships. So, so if anyone wants to find scholarships, there's a video on my channel and also on Victor's channel as well. You can go and find that out. So for those people who maybe are looking, like for example, for both of us, for me when I was studying, I just looked at one country, like UK. So for you, were you just sowing your seeds wherever, or you were targeting like I would want to be in UK, in US, in Germany?
I think I wasn't very particular. It was more about the course than where it was based. So I was checking for opportunities in the course any course in African politics or development, thereabout. So wherever an opportunity shows up, whether it's in China or in the UK or the US, I don't mind. So I was led by the course instead of the country.
By the course. Yeah, because what I'm trying to get at is what should someone consider if they're trying to choose where to go or what scholarship to take?
Okay, in hindsight, I think you should consider compatibility with the department. For instance, you're interested in election and political parties, and you go to you open the site of the political science department, and you have lots of lecturers interested in the same thing. So that there's like an alignment between your goal and their own goal. So it's good to study under people like that. They can serve as mentors to you and things like that. So you could consider that as a factor. You could also consider rankings of universities as well. So if you're picking, is this how well ranked, not just the university on its own, but also the department, because there are also department rankings. So university might be very good, but quite poor in your particular course. So you have to be careful about that. So you check how that university is doing in that particular department or that particular course. So mine is usually compatibility between my own research interest and that of the university or the department.
Okay, that's quite interesting, and I'm hoping it's helpful to anyone that's listening as well. So, yeah, is there anything else that you would like to add, maybe in regards to the scholarship application phase, and maybe tips or things that people should really pay attention to?
Yeah, I think it's quite discouraging when you get several rejections. That is normal, and I know I had my own fair share of rejections, but I think most times it's not your fault. I think I also did a video on why people get rejected, because sometimes there are internal criteria that you're not aware of.
Yeah.
I know a particular scholarship, I won't mention the name, but they accept only, it's an international scholarship, but if they want to accept Africans, they accept only those who studied abroad. I've checked their list of past recipients. Those they gave were those that have international exposure already. So if you're in Africa and you're applying for that scholarship, you might have everything perfect, but because you don't have this small thing that you're not aware of, you might be disqualified. And you go back home thinking you did something wrong. That might not be the problem.
Right.
So don't beat up yourself is the first thing. And the second thing is try to still improve yourself in spite of that. So there might be internal quotas that you might not be aware of and you think you did something wrong, but not necessarily. So just continue pushing forward and do not submit the same application year after year without adding something, an improvement or something. So make sure you've gotten an extra skill, maybe an extra certificate or an extra work experience or something. So to make your application more competitive. Yeah.
That's very true. Thank you so much. Yeah, I don't think I have anything to add. Thank you for sparing time in Germany. You know, it's summer, you'd want to go out, but you chose to chat with Kimola.
It's actually raining, actually.
It's raining today.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to link Victor's channel in the description box, and just go watch his videos, and please also subscribe to his channel because he's doing a fantastic job there. Give him a likes up, okay? Thumbs up, everything. And also just say that, hey, I'm here from Cynthia Kimola's channel, so that he can know that you're there, you're active. Yeah, so thank you so much, Victor, and all the best in your studies when you go to Warwick, and we will catch up with you maybe later in a future date so that we can find out how you're doing.
Yeah, I'll be pleased to come back here as a PhD student by then.
Awesome.